The Dance of the Dragons was a war defined by its pivotal moments, where a single decision could change the fate of an entire dynasty. Today, we delve into an alternate history, one where Arrax, not Vhagar, emerged victorious in the skies above Storm's End. How would the death of Aemond Targaryen at the hands of Lucerys Velaryon alter the course of the war and the fate of Westeros? In this alternate reality, Lucerys, pushed to the brink by fear and desperation, commands Arrax to fight. Instead of fleeing, the young dragon turns to face the ancient Vhagar, and in a moment of unexpected courage, or perhaps sheer instinct, Arrax unleashes a torrent of flame at Aemond Targaryen. Aemond, overconfident and unprepared for such defiance, is caught in the fire. The flames consume him, and in a matter of seconds, the one-eyed prince is no more. The immediate aftermath of Aemond's death sends shockwaves throughout Westeros. Vhagar, now riderless, flees into the storm, her fate uncertain. Lucerys, traumatized by the encounter but miraculously alive, returns to Dragonstone with news that will alter the course of the war. For Rhaenyra and her supporters, the news of Aemond's death is both a blessing and a curse. While Lucerys' survival is a relief, the death of Aemond, a prominent leader of the Greens, adds new complexities to the conflict. In King's Landing, Aegon is devastated by the loss of his brother. Aemond was not just a key figure in his war effort, he was also the embodiment of the Greens' resolve. Without Aemond, the Greens face a significant blow to their morale and their strategy. Otto Hightower, ever the strategist, now finds himself in a precarious position. With Vhagar riderless and the Greens' most formidable warrior gone, the political landscape begins to shift. The balance of power in the realm is teetering on the edge. Aemond's death triggers a series of events that reshape the Dance of the Dragons. The Greens, already strained by internal divisions, begin to fracture further. Houses that were once staunch allies start to reconsider their loyalties, sensing weakness in Aegon's cause. House Baratheon, already divided in its loyalties, sees Boros Baratheon's support for the Greens wavering. Without Aemond to secure their alliance, Storm's End becomes a contested stronghold. Meanwhile, House Lannister, sensing an opportunity, begins to play both sides, seeking to position themselves favorably no matter who wins the war. On the battlefield, the loss of Aemond shifts the momentum in favor of the Blacks. With Vhagar no longer in play, the Blacks' dragons gain a significant advantage in aerial combat. Daemon Targaryen, always a fierce warrior, seizes this opportunity to press the attack, leading to several key victories in the Riverlands. With Aemond gone, the fate of Vhagar becomes a wild card in the Dance of the Dragons. The ancient dragon, riderless and enraged, becomes a terror across Westeros. Unbound by a rider's command, Vhagar's rampages lead to widespread destruction as the dragon unleashes her fury on any who cross her path. Her unchecked power turns her into a force of nature, feared by both sides. The Blacks, wary of Vhagar's destructive potential, debate whether to try and claim the dragon or to avoid her wrath altogether. Meanwhile, the Greens face the loss of their greatest asset, as no rider steps forward to take on the challenge of taming Vhagar. The possibility of a new rider for Vhagar looms large. Would Daemon Targaryen, known for his daring and ambition, attempt to claim the mighty dragon? Or would a new, unknown rider emerge, changing the course of the war once more? The psychological toll of Aemond's death begins to unravel the Greens from within. Alicent Hightower, already burdened by the war, falls deeper into grief and despair, her influence over Aegon weakening. The once united front of the Greens starts to crack as doubts and fears spread. Aegon, reeling from the loss of his brother, becomes increasingly erratic. His decisions grow more desperate, leading to internal conflicts among his advisors. Otto Hightower, ever the pragmatist, finds it increasingly difficult to maintain control over the increasingly unstable king. Rhaenyra, buoyed by the recent victories and the weakening of her enemies, solidifies her claim. The Black Council, with Daemon at her side, capitalizes on the Greens' disarray. While Rhaenyra's supporters are not without their own divisions, the momentum is clearly in their favor. With Aemond's death, the once uncertain tide of war begins to shift decidedly towards the Blacks. As the Blacks grow stronger, more houses begin to pledge their support to Rhaenyra. seeing her as the rightful ruler who is now closer than ever to seizing the Iron Throne. The loss of Aemond, combined with the chaos caused by Vhagar's rampages, leads to defections among the Green's ranks. Key houses, fearing the wrath of an enraged and uncontrolled dragon, reconsider their loyalties. As the war progresses, the conflict reaches a series of decisive battles that will determine the fate of Westeros. With the Greens in disarray and the Blacks on the offensive, the war's final chapters are written in blood and fire. The Battle of the God's Eye becomes a turning point in this alternate timeline. With Aemond dead and Vhagar absent, the Greens lack the overwhelming power they once possessed. Daemon, riding Arraxes, leads a daring assault that cripples the Greens' forces. The Blacks, now emboldened, launch a series of successful campaigns that bring them ever closer to King's Landing. The Blacks secure a significant victory at the God's Eye, breaking the Greens' hold on the Riverlands and opening the path to the capital. Aegon, now isolated and increasingly paranoid, retreats to King's Landing, where the final battle for the Iron Throne is about to take place. The siege of King's Landing marks the beginning of the end for the Greens. Rhaenyra's forces, now bolstered by new allies and the absence of Vhagar's threat, surround the capital. Inside the city, Aegon and his remaining supporters prepare for a desperate last stand. Aegon, haunted by the ghosts of his family and the weight of his failing rule, becomes more erratic. The remaining Greens, realizing the futility of their situation, begin to turn on each other, with some seeking terms with Rhaenyra in exchange for their lives. The final assault on King's Landing is swift and brutal. With the city in chaos and the defenders demoralized, Rhaenyra's forces break through the walls. The Red Keep, once the seat of Targaryen power, falls to the Blacks. Aegon, cornered and defeated, meets his end through execution. Rhaenyra Targaryen, the firstborn of King Viserys, takes her place on the Iron Throne. The war, though not over, reaches a decisive turning point with the fall of King's Landing. The Greens are scattered, their power broken, and the Dance of the Dragons nears its bloody conclusion. With the war largely won, Rhaenyra's reign begins. However, the cost of victory is staggering. Westeros lies in ruins, with entire regions devastated by dragonfire and the endless bloodshed. The Dance of the Dragons, while securing Rhaenyra's claim, leaves the realm in chaos and her rule challenged by the lingering remnants of the Greens and those who oppose her on principle. Rhaenyra's reign, while initially triumphant, is fraught with challenges. The scars left by the Civil War are deep, and the realm is divided. Rebuilding Westeros and establishing her authority requires a delicate balance of strength and diplomacy. The Dragon Lords, once the undisputed rulers of Westeros, now face a kingdom that has seen the true horrors of their power. The question of what to do with Vhagar, now riderless, becomes a pressing issue. The ancient dragon, a symbol of Targaryen might, remains a wild card in this new era. Some suggest taming her once more, while others fear the destruction she could bring if left unchecked. As the dust settles, Rhaenyra's reign is one of both hope and fear. Hope for the restoration of peace and order, but fear of the dragons that still haunt the skies and the memories of the brutal war that has scarred the realm. The death of Aemond Targaryen at the hands of Lucerys Velaryon sets off a chain of events that alters the course of the Dance of the Dragons. In this alternate history, the Blacks emerge victorious, but at an unimaginable cost. The realm is forever changed, the power of dragons questioned, and the legacy of House Targaryen tarnished by the blood spilled in their name. This what-if scenario shows us the delicate balance of power in Westeros and how a single moment, a single breath of dragonfire can change the course of history. But as with all alternate histories, we are left to wonder, was this outcome truly better, or was it simply a different path to the same tragic end? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the possibilities of the Dance of the Dragons, make sure to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts. What other what-if scenarios would you like to see explored? The history of Westeros is full of turning points, and we've only just begun to uncover the many paths that could have been taken.